check that every transaction has an ID number associated with it. So this was a case, a little bit of what we were talking about with Elise. I think the case that's wrong stands out pretty obviously here with Miriam J. She doesn't have an ID number in this column A. And there's a variety of reasons why this might be, from copying and pasting or a typo or misspelling. And I think normally, from what I've seen from working with a lot of these logs, it's pretty easy to figure out, to troubleshoot what the issue is here. The case here would be the loaner or the borrower is Miriam Rodriguez, but here her name is entered as Miriam J. Rodriguez with her middle name, middle initial, things of that nature. So what the edit for here would be, you would just delete out the J, press enter, and then you should see sort of everything, it updates. It goes to that same borrower ID. It's sort of this whole row looks a little cleaner and doesn't look like it's so airy as it was before, as opposed to this. This is what it looked like before. It shows the loan balance NA. It shows weird cells colored like this. And then if you delete the J, it all goes to normal. Okay. So that's the next one. I would say there's a similar case that happens a lot, which would be, imagine if Miriam J. Rodriguez was added. So there was a Miriam Rodriguez and a Miriam J. Rodriguez, but the program administrator had added Miriam J. Rodriguez to the borrower list. So then it would show up like it was good to go, even though it would really be the same person. This is something that we see a lot. And again, there's a couple ways to check. Most of it, I would say, is just, every month doing a quick check and making sure that there's no borrowers that, are having a new name. Like, if you see a borrower come in and it's treating them like it's their first loan, but that they've had other loans, it probably is because the naming convention has been modified a little bit. One thing that can give it away, so this would be the case with this Orlando Javier Gallo. If you see here, this cell, the 82.0, this ID number, so the first number, 82, that represents the borrower ID. So every borrower has one number assigned to them. And then the second number after the decimal, that's the number of loans they've had. So for example, if you were to look at this one, Maria Oliva Lopez, she's borrower number 74 and she's on loan number 2. So if you see someone that's making a payment here while having a 0 as their loan number, that means that one's probably a mistake. It also just wouldn't make sense that they are paying 182 to make their balance negative 182. So that means they had no balance, but they're making a payment for whatever reason. So again, in this case, I would probably recommend, looking through, seeing what the case is. And up here, you can see, okay, here's Orlando Gallo. This is the same person. This is most likely the same person. And you would go in and you would just delete out the middle name, press enter, and then it would all sort of update. It goes back to 67.3 as it should be. And, it just, again, looks a lot cleaner there. In some cases, it might be hard to tell. You might want to quickly send a message to your program administrator to confirm is this correct, etc. But for the most part, I think it's pretty easy to sort of troubleshoot what the case is. And again, it seems like kind of picking a needle out of a haystack in this case because all these names are unfamiliar. But the idea is that when you're working with your program that you've sort of grown with, that you're familiar with, it won't be as it'll be a lot quicker, easier to troubleshoot that.
So will the second number in the ID automatically click up when they're like another loan is issued to them?
Yeah. Yep. It will.
Okay.
Yep. All that stuff is fully automated. That's one of the things that we've changed with this log. In the past, it was sort of the responsibility of the program administrator to track those numbers, but now everything is done automatically. So hopefully taking less work off of the program administrators.